Okay, here we are. Today I'm here with Tadie, who, like myself, is a CashFX partner. While money isn't always the driving force behind our motives and ambitions, it is the oil that makes the cogs go round. There's no getting away from that fact, and especially in today's climate, we're all feeling the pressures of rising living costs and unpredictable circumstances. For those of you who don't already know, CashFX is a community-focused resource for creating an abundance of wealth and financial security for yourself, your family, and anyone you care about, really. Financial security and abundance may mean different things to you than it does to me. So Tadie's going to share with us what it means to her. So hello, Tadie, and thanks for joining me today.
No worries. Hi, Ben. Thanks very much for having me.
So how long ago did you join CashFX?
So it was just over a year ago now. I was introduced by a business contact and a friend of mine. Didn't really kind of take notice of the messages that I was getting at first. I think we were all like that, weren't we, when we were first introduced to it. And then if I'm honest, when I watched the first video, which was the John Kinnear video, I was thinking, what's this all about? And it was new, and I kind of put it to one side. But yeah, after a number of chases, after me doing a bit of due diligence, I jumped in at the lowest pack, $300, and just really kind of watched it for a couple of weeks. And then after that, realised that every single day I was getting the trades, and I put more attention into it and watched it a little bit more. Didn't really get involved too much within the community, and then I invested a little bit more. And it's just grown from there, really.
Okay, so, how much more did you invest?
Yeah, so I went from the 300 to the 500, and still at that stage, I didn't really realise what the opportunity that I had, and I was busy. I'm a business owner. I run a number of businesses online. I'm in property. Life's hectic. Life's busy. I've got a big team that I manage as well, and it was only until I was invited to Hazel's Facebook group and I started seeing more and more engagement in there, more posts. And I think that, I actually kind of took the opportunity to actually spend a bit more time and do a bit more due diligence and understand the mechanics, because I think anyone coming into this, it's a lot of information, isn't it? It's a lot of information.
It is. What due diligence did you do?
So the first thing that I watched was Richard Maud's due diligence video.
Yeah.
And I did do some Google research. I didn't listen to it. There's people out there that do. And I did see that there was some negative posts and comments on Google. But I went ahead and kind of got stuck in anyway. And I thought, for $300, if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's, it's not the end of the world. But after that, I started reading posts, and I was seeing posts from Gary, from Kim, from Hazel, and lots of other people like yourself that are on the really big packs. And then I, at the end of last year, once I felt comfortable and confident in being able to actually teach other people and invite other people and to talk about it, I then started sharing at the end of October last year. And that's really where my accounts have exploded. So we've exhausted all compliantly and within the terms of that CFX provide. We've got 2 business accounts. I've got an account. My partner's got an account. We've got some accounts under sponsors' names for my kids, my 2 children. And from there, really, I've then obviously utilised the opportunity and the information that I've learned and the experience that obviously the results that I've gained to then be able to share that with other people. I think that we have a duty in CFX to share this with as many people as possible.
Definitely.
Especially with what's happening at the moment and what's going to potentially happen economically.
Exactly, yeah. And we can kind of speculate what we think is going to happen and what looks like it's going to happen, but we never know, do we? So we have to be prepared, and it's great that you've kind of got your children prepared and your husband's on board. So what pack are you on at the moment? Your personal pack?
Yeah, so my pack's on the 20k, And then the other packs are just below that. So, and what I've been doing, which works for us, I didn't want to have my main pack right at the top. So we've been sharing quite avidly over the last kind of 6-7 months, and building our team and building my own Facebook group and community. But I didn't want my pack to be right at the top and the others to be left behind. So I've got a system in place. I use a funnel. So anyone kind of coming through that wishes to jump on board and become a team member of mine, we take them through a process. And all we then do is we just swap the links out. So I swap the link out from mine to then my other halves, and so on and so forth. So we're driving those packs up that ladder, and in each one's kind of nipping at the heels of the other. That's the plan, or that's the strategy that we're using.
I like that idea. So what you're doing is you're showing how flexible the platform is, as you know, you're doing it your way, but you're kind of helping others under you, aren't you, by switching those links out and adding people under different people. I think that's a brilliant strategy, because you've got to the 20k pack very, very quickly, having only invested $500.
Yeah.
And so the kind of personal money management really comes into play there, doesn't it?
Well, I think also, if we say that, once you're on 100k and you can do those withdrawals, and obviously we know that you can withdraw when you reach the 100k, there's going to be a bit that you can withdraw and then you can downgrade. But once you're on that 100k, and that's why I want all of those packs up there, that's 60k net income without any bull. And I think really the focus for me is, and I had a really interesting conversation with Hazel, which she kind of hit the nail on the head, was you only need to do this for a year, 2 years maximum, in terms of sharing and building your team, because eventually what's going to happen is, your team members' packs are going to move up the ranks, and it's then going to look after itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
The focus for me isn't really, getting that crown of executive or getting yet, because that will come. That will come. More people collectively, that within our teams that we inspire to join and to take, financial control of their situation in the future. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, and I think it's important that people also know that, like, you already understand this, but a lot of people don't realize you don't have to aim for these badges and certificates. You don't have to share and share and share. You don't have to team build. It's still the way the platform works. It still builds around you. The matrix comes into play, and it works for everybody, no matter how much effort you put in. Perhaps if you do put that effort in at the beginning, you're going to grow much, much faster and much, much bigger. But in standard income terms, even if you don't do anything, you're going to have a better salary. You're going to have a better income within a couple of years than you would do in a standard job, wouldn't you? Yeah.
And I think it's so important nowadays, to share this with people that have one income stream. It is so important to have multiple income streams. I've been reading so much in the news, and I don't listen to everything in the news, but we know that there's a massive recession coming. What if you don't have that job next month or next year? It's so important. And actually, having kind of been in business now, and I've got kind of multiple businesses that are automated, that work well, where we serve kind of clients online and offline. And that's really what I've been dedicated to over the last 6 months, to be able to help other people realize that they shouldn't be reliant on one income, if that is a job, or even if it is their own business, that they need to, once they have money, they then need to be savvy to learn to invest that in other opportunities and other incomes, so that they don't have to go back to a job. Something happens where something goes under, they're then still financially secure. And I don't think there's enough education out there, especially for our kids, that provides that opportunity or that information.
Absolutely, yeah. So what you talk about security, and we all talk about cash effects being a passive income. So when you hear those words, what does it mean on a personal level to you, at home and with your family?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I have never really shared this publicly before. So my mum was diagnosed with cancer 6 years ago. And so in 2014, she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. She's still, touch wood, she's still with us today. She's quite a formidable character. And at the time, she was living in France. And she had surgery, and she had lots of appointments booked in the UK. But over a 2-year period, the UK, the NHS couldn't do anything more for her. And she's currently on a trial in France. It costs an awful lot of money every year. And when I came across CFX, I mean, I'm in property, and yes, it does well, but it's not to the point where, you know, I can retire tomorrow. And for me, seeing what CFX can do and seeing what other people have achieved that are on those packs, and also the inspirational stories that they've shared, I really want to be in a position where my mum doesn't have to kind of live in exile in France to stay alive, where I have enough money so that she can travel freely and, you know, still see her family for however long she's got left. So that was a turning point for me, and that's why I got into business, because of what she was going through. But for us, that would be amazing to be able to provide her with that opportunity where she's not having to stay there permanently just to get the medication and to get the treatment that she needs.
Right. So that's quite a powerful situation, isn't it? You know, your kind of desire is about kind of negating the problems that could happen if you don't have that money behind you. So having that money behind you is really going to make a big difference to your mum's life, isn't it?
Yeah, massively.
Yeah. So on a kind of on a positive note, what were, say, before you come into Cash Effects, what were your dreams and ambitions for yourself and your family?
I think just to be in a situation where, you know, we don't have to worry about money, and be in a situation where we can freely do and choose to do things that we want to do, not necessarily having to struggle. And I don't mean, you know, kind of throwing money at materialistic things, but just being able to travel. Obviously, we were all in a situation during COVID where we were restricted, but just to kind of get life back on track and to be able to do things that we want to do. My 2 children are still very young, 2 and 5. And to be able to give them the opportunity to experience things that, you know, I didn't necessarily get to do when I was a child. So that's it, I think, kind of for us from a family perspective. But I'm also very big on helping other people to understand that they need to take responsibility for themselves, and because pensions are not going to be there. When the pensions are not going to be there, we're in a situation now where people really need to take hold and take responsibility for their own financial pathway, rather than being solely reliant on a job, a wage. During COVID, we saw so many businesses, so many companies go under. And if they don't, I think globally, we're going to have a massive situation on our hands if people don't take action and don't take responsibility and get out of roles and jobs and an environment that actually they don't like doing. They don't like doing this from a mental health perspective as well. I think that's really, really important for people to understand.
Yeah, definitely. So I think you've touched on a few times and highlighted the fact that we never know what's around the corner. And that's been proven to us. So it's really important that we have some kind of control over our own finances. So you're a mentor as well, aren't you?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so I operate an e-commerce business, and I mentor people online so that they can start services, and they can also sell physical products online. So that's what I started back in 2016. So I've now got to the stage where I've got a team of virtual assistants that now help me operate the business. So it's semi-passive. I still like to kind of have my foot in the door and know, where we're going and what's going on. But at the end of the day, for me, it's fairly passive. But that took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But that's allowed me now to be at a stage where I can then help other people. And if that's the industry that they wish to go, and if they want to set up a business that way, I'm then able to provide them and support them through our academy in getting started in scaling the business and systemizing the business. So I'm a systemization nut. I've had lots of experience in building systems and processes, not just in what I do now, but within my old corporate job. I was a regional operations manager within the leisure industry. So I was responsible for a very large team, a number of sites, and I built processes out that basically can get you the end result, through a series of processes and systems. So that's really what I love doing. And we've been able to actually help a number of CFXs within the CFX community actually to systemize their team building processes, so that makes light work of them doing every single thing manually, because we've only got 24 hours in a day. So that's kind of my background.
That's really interesting. I might have to talk to you about that at some point. Yeah. So your being in CashFX has integrated into your life rather than being something separate, or how does it come together?
Yeah, so obviously I've been in business, property, e-commerce, and mentoring now for the best part of 6 years. And what I've actually found is we've built a very big community and equally a big audience from those businesses. And we also help small business owners to recruit, train, and onboard virtual assistants as well. So we work with virtual assistants in the Philippines. And so from those businesses, I've built an audience over the years. And when I actually then came to bite the bullet and release this opportunity, CFX, to that community, it just took off. So at the end of October last year, I did some marketing to my audience, and quite a lot of those were either self-employed, contractors, business owners. And I have to say, the first 2 months of doing it, November and December last year, were the busiest I've ever been in terms of the amount of calls that we had, and even to the point where my team was helping me. So that was the start of me building my team, outside of obviously the accounts we had. So, and then from there, it's just grown. I've been engaging more within Hazel's community, helping people, and just to make light work, because people in CFX right now who understand it, who want to build their team, either don't know necessarily the right way to do it, how to do it, they haven't got the time to do it. So that's kind of how we've developed our service, our product, to then help them do that and automate 80% of that work, where it allows you to drive traffic, share the opportunity automatically, and then obviously book the call in and then help that person understand it better, and obviously to help them to take their trade pack out. So that's kind of how we're serving the CFX members at the moment.
That's incredible. So you're kind of teaching me something new here. So you haven't, so you've built a big team in CashFX, which has helped you grow, but you didn't have to go out there and find people because you already had that audience there. So I think a lot of people, when they get involved in multi-level marketing, they think, oh, I've got to go out and find loads of new people. But you forget that there are already people that Okay, you might not already have these big businesses like you have, but we all have people that we know, people in our kind of personal network. But also, if we do have a professional network or a network at home, it just goes to show that you can kind of utilize those audiences as well. And
absolutely.
And I love that you're not only doing that for yourself, but you're showing other people how to do the same thing. I think that's mirrored quite a lot in CashFX. I think everybody is helping each other, using their own skills in one way or another to help other people build their teams. So I've never felt alone in the business. I don't know about you. I've always felt that if there's something I didn't know, I could always just message someone and there'd be somebody to help.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I'm in a lot of communities. I'm in an online entrepreneur academy. I'm in my mentors community. I'm in property communities, and actually, I this hand on heart, the CFX community is something else. I've never experienced a community quite like it. Some communities can be pretty picky and nichey and kind of without kind of being too negative, but the CFX community is just amazing. And I've attended a number of accountability calls that Mikkel and Candy run on a Saturday. So anyone that hasn't attended those, get involved. And I think when you find CFX difficult from a building your team perspective, get more involved and engage more, because you'll take inspiration, watch the videos that are shared, really get involved, because that was the turning point for me, not just understanding the opportunity more and what this can bring you and your family, but also rubbing shoulders with other people. We all have good days and bad days, and I haven't been able to attend some of the recent accountability calls that Mikkel and Candy run, but I'll be there on the next one very soon. But you just come off them feeling so much more positive. So, there's that saying, isn't it, that you become one of the 5 closest people around you. So get involved and ensure that you are speaking to and engaging with people in the community, because they're fabulous and they will answer.
Absolutely. I speak to a lot of people who just join, and they love the concept and they love the company and they love the idea that they're going to have a lot of money pretty soon, but they don't quite engage with it, and they're not utilizing what they have. They have this massive opportunity, this powerful platform, but by kind of hiding behind the parapets, not getting involved, they're not being able to utilize it. And what you say is, just get involved, especially people like Mikkel. He's so helpful, isn't he? It's unbelievable, so generous with his time, and his brain must be about this big. He is with numbers. It's brilliant, and that really helps you understand your account, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that I've still got quite a few people in my team that, are they excuses? Are they reasons? Oh, the dogs had to go to the vets, or I'm tired after my day job. And I get that. But I'm a firm believer in you're not going to get anywhere unless you take action. And if I'm going to be relentless with this. I've been relentless for the last 6 months. We're going to push it even harder for the next 6 months, and then we'll see where I am. And I think then what I'll probably look to do is transition, and I'll be in more of a supportive role for those that are in my team, and to help them build. Because it's not all about the level ones. It's about, growing that to a certain stage. For me, I feel anyway, and then being in a supportive role, I'm sure kind of where you are as well in CFX, that's probably something similar that you're doing as well. And getting people to take action and engage, because at the end of the day, if they allow their accounts to cap out, it's going to affect them, it's going to affect you. So, everyone wins in CFX, don't they? So it's really important to give back.
That's it. I had somebody the other day who was sitting on an upgrade, and they were one day until capping out, because they thought they needed the whole amount of the pack size to upgrade from one to the next. And it was a short, sharp shock for me to actually take more notice of other people's accounts. And that has moved me forward a little bit, and actually spreading myself down through my downline and making sure that I'm looking after them as well. So it's not just looking after your own account. For me, it's making sure that everybody that's joined me knows what they're doing as well. Yeah, absolutely. So you were just talking about your short-term kind of 6-month goal. Do you have, because your life has obviously changed a little bit over the last year or so with the new kind of business, say in 5 years time, what was your 5-year goal? Is it any different now than it was? And what changes have happened?
So what's my goal in 5 years time from now? Blimey. Do you know what? It's to actually retire, but I love what I do. So I don't know whether I'll be able to do that in myself. I think if CFX goes the way it does, I'd very much like to be at the top in the leadership ranking, and to be an ambassador for CFX. I have a 3-year plan for my businesses as well, separate to CFX. From a personal side of things, I would like to be in a position where I've been able to buy my parents a house over here, and also to travel a lot more. I didn't get that opportunity when I was younger, in between university. So there's lots of places that I'd love to travel, and being in a kind of having a laptop and having my businesses online, there's kind of nothing stopping me doing that really, and the rest of my family. So that's kind of the goal. I'd like to do it sooner than 5 years. I'd like to hit that 100K, let's say by the end of this year. So there's my accountability there.
And how likely do you think that is?
Very likely.
Okay, brilliant.
I think it's all about visualization, and you say something. I'm one of these people. If I say so, I'm going to do something, I'll do it. So. Yeah,
I get that. Yeah. I'm going to call you up on this. I'm going to play it back to you. Okay, Tadie. So, what would you say to anyone who isn't in Cashfx?
Don't listen to the rubbish online, for starters. Basically, if you want to take responsibility and you want to create a future for yourself where you don't have the worries and you're fearful of not having enough money to support yourself and your family, and you want to achieve your dreams and ambitions, then this is the most exciting, most unique opportunity that you'll ever come across to date. Get involved, engage, learn, and share. That's what I would say to them.
Thanks, Tadie. How can anyone get hold of you?
Find me on Facebook. I've got a unique name, so Tadie. Find me on Facebook, or that you can email me at info@onlinesellerscircle.com.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. What I'm going to do is put those links that you just gave me under this video, so that anyone watching can just get straight through to you that way.
Perfect.
Tadie, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Andrew, thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.